It's those little things that keep me finding my way back to the Orange County line.
Welcome to the Y with Dr. T, and I have some pretty special guests here tonight. So I am here with the band Flatline. Many of you probably know them, and if you don't, you're getting ready to. So thank you, Flatline. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself. So have at it.
I'm Sean. I'm the drummer. Carl Anderson. I'm a bass player.
John Moon, I do the lead vocals for the band.
Mike Butterfield, guitar.
And Wilbur, I'm the roadie.
The roadie. Okay, where are you guys from? I should have told you to say that.
I'm from Bedford, originally from Mitchell, and we'll get to the rest of that. Orleans, originally from Paoli.
I'm from Orleans, originally from Paoli too.
From Bedford, but live in Mitchell now.
And I'm from Paoli, and I live in Mitchell as well.
Okay. So really local guys. And as you know, the reason I ask you all here is because this podcast is about good stories, about good community folks doing some pretty neat things. And you've been around, you've been in multiple bands, but you've been in this particular one for quite a while. And we know you around here, right? I mean, and it's important that we have folks on here who can tell a story. And you guys have went through quite a bit of changes in the last few years with your music, all kinds of things. So I really want to talk about that kind of that progression from maybe in the last several years. Like how have you guys grown or exploded or become famous? Like what is it?
I don't know about famous. Almost famous.
Almost famous, right?
Legends in our own mind.
Legends. Okay. But how has your band evolved?
Basically, through Danny Clip, it has evolved. And I think everybody knows that story.
Well, maybe not. What do we need to say so that everybody understands that story?
Well, Danny has always been involved with each one of us in a band or some type of music. He's always been just involved with us, with whatever we did, always pushing us, always being that positive person. And he's just touched each one of us individually.
But I do think it's good to tell that story because it does anchor a lot of what the good things, something bad, something tragic can anchor. And I think it's going to, and you're going to tell that. So I do think that there's not everybody knows.
Well, our story with Danny goes back many, many years. I met John, which I knew of John from school, but he was quite a bit younger than me. I met Mike through Danny. I met Sean through Danny. And I've known Wilbur for a long, long time, but he got to know Danny through me. So, I mean, it's all connected. But probably going back 25 years, we've been in several different bands together, all of us in different bands. And a lot of that started with Danny bringing us together, and Danny kind of followed us through each phase of every different band. He was always there. He was always right in the middle of all of it.
And we talked before this episode that we thought it was probably Danny who had you playing, and I think John, you too, and maybe even you at our house 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a pretty neat story. You don't ever really know how people touch your life and touch the life of others.
You know, that's one thing about Danny. He was always really positive, and anything negative that was thrown towards him, he would twist it into a positive, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. So, and that's the reason why we got so many gigs over the years, because
he was pushing us, you know, in that positive way. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. You know, we're going to make it big as possible. That's what he was. He made everything
He was a dream
big.
for sure.
And you guys have honored his legacy. Let's talk about that.
Well, Danny had been writing some things. I would almost call it maybe poetry or just thoughts that he had, and he would send them to us guys in text. What do you think? Could you do something with them? Or yeah, it's pretty good, but you can't. Everybody's so busy, you just kind of not blow it off, but um, you know, you just life happens. So he just kind of got a little more animated with it. Like, hey, we need to do something. I know that he he got a hold of me. Well, actually, me and him and Wilbur went and had dinner one night, and out of nowhere, didn't know it was coming, but Danny starts full court pressing Wilbur about, hey, where can we record some songs? And I'm like, we don't even have any songs to record, but he's pushing Wilbur to, and Wilbur had a great connection there. And Wilbur made it happen. Well, then it's like, okay, we've got to get our stuff together. We've got to get this song ready. And I think that he knew he wouldn't ever tell us, but he knew his time was coming short. You know, for those that didn't know, he had terminal cancer, and he didn't complain. Uh, he just kept on plugging along. How, I don't know. We have no idea how he endured the things he endured for those 3.5 years, but he always kept his spirits up. And like I said, he got to pushing, so we're like, okay, I guess we're going to record. So we got together and we called it the waiting room sessions, because we would go up to Mike Butterfield's chiropractic practice in his waiting room, clear all the chairs out, so we had room to set the band up in there, and then we'd practice in there. So that's how we started putting that song together, and it just evolved, and we got up there and we got it laid down, and we got a mix from it, and we were able to play that mix for him. He did get to hear it.
Well, he actually recorded that.
Well,
The final pre-recording.
yeah, the rough.
He was actually recording us, and we have that video.
But
He was actually showing it to people.
he was
He
was showing it.
Yeah, I mean, it was so raw.
We were kind of like wanting to wait, you know, as he's like, oh, I'm so proud of this. Listen, you guys are, which is cool. I'm glad that he was proud of it, but we just wasn't quite ready yet to get it out there.
But you know, as we went on down the road there, you know, Danny passed, and it killed us, and we were able to play that at his funeral. And that was something really special to us. We were all right there, and it well, it just is a moment. You know, you have moments that stick with you forever, and that's one of them for me that will stick with me till I'm gone. But that wasn't the end of the song. There's a awards down in Nashville, Tennessee, called the Josie Awards, and Sean's wife Missy, she's headed up. She's done a lot of work for us there, getting us out on social media, and you know, things that us guys really don't know a whole lot about. It's been a big learning curve, hasn't it, Sean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's lots of little details that nobody tells you about. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
It's still a learning curve.
For me, and we say this often, you know, I'm trying to get these tech guys over here to understand muffin tops and double chins, and everybody has a right side that they like better, and we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah.
You trying to say something?
No, I don't know. I took my chin out, so I'm good now.
Your chin out, your head kind of down. But okay, so that song, talk about the Josie Award. Like how
Well, that is a process in itself also. So after the help from Wilbur and his good buddy, Nico Albanese, he produced a song. and he did an excellent job with it. Just a very talented guy. We're very appreciative.
I do want to point this out. All of this was people doing favors for each other.
Yes.
Not a dime changed hands through this whole thing. Wilbur called in favors at the video.
David Van Landingham.
I wanted to ask you about the video.
Yeah.
I do want to get back to the award, but I do also want to talk about making a video, a music video, because I don't know anyone who's ever done that, and that's pretty cool. So I do want to talk about the behind the scenes with making a music video.
Danny had an idea. Me and him had discussed, I'm sure he had discussed it with everybody, but he had some ideas for a music video if it came down to that. But at the end of the video, he wanted to be sitting on the drums and blast off. I mean, that's what he wanted, you know? And at the time I was like, I don't know how we can make that happen, but hey, what Danny says, that's what he's going to get. It's really just kind of weird that it happened the way it did. If you notice at the end of the video, David had the camera moving away from us, like that was Danny. And it was, you know, so it's not, he wasn't sitting on the drums or anything, but the camera was moving away, like that's where he's going, because we know where he's at. He gave his life to Christ, and we know that. So that kind of takes the hurt away a little bit, but we still miss him.
Yeah.
But David Van Landingham is just a really good friend of mine, and we've always been just close. And he did an excellent job. Him and his wife, she won female actress in a video at the Josie Music Awards for that video. So, and that's hers.
Well, I was
That's
wondering who. Yeah, that's what I want to know. How did you get actors, actresses? How did you get like the crowds? I mean, all this is so interesting.
Well, I'll tell you what a lot of it was. It was divine intervention, is what I think.
Yes.
How did we get hooked up with David and his talent,
Right.
Nico and his talent? I mean, it just,
Yeah.
and how did we get the talent out of us to do that? Is beyond me too.
Amen.
That was divine intervention.
You know, the words that he put down on paper, and John, you know, he worked his magic and just brought it to life, and it just made the song really special. And with what these guys did in the studio, what Nico did for us in the studio, I was pleasantly surprised. I know these guys were too. When we went home that night with a copy, I'm pretty sure that he sent us something, a rough copy. I think you got it too. I bawled my eyes out. Just like, how is this even happening, you know? And I was just so excited. We were all so excited for Danny to hear his song. And once he got it, oh my gosh, it went everywhere, just very raw. And that was Danny. He was very proud of it. That was his song, and it's fine. But I could go on and on about that.
But yeah, back to kind of the, submitting that song for the awards. And what was that? How many thousands of entries they have? Was it 83,000?
83,000 entrants, and
Then they chopped
very few were nominated.
Yeah, just to get nominated in and of itself.
Oh, it was great. And we were nominated 5 times for that song.
Okay, so hold on a minute. So there's some form of a submission thing that garnered 83,000
83,000.
entries, and then out of the entries, there are X amount of nominations that go forward for the actual award.
Yes.
They have a panel that examines every entry.
83,000 entries. And so then how many get nominated, do you think? I mean, how many were kind of to the final running? Do you know?
I don't remember exactly. I know it's not very many.
This is independent music award, so it's
Yes.
there is a lot of different genres represented.
50 to 100 between all of the awards.
Did they get to know the story behind the song?
Yes, and that's where the video came in. Because it was up for video of the year, wasn't it?
Yes.
Now, we got nominated for it. Of course, we didn't win that, and that's fine, because the competition was very fierce. So, we were very happy with what we got. I will say, when we were all sitting there, I mean, Megan Van Lanningham, she won the first award. That was kind of right off the bat, and oh my gosh, we were hyped and excited.
It was best.
I think I saw that on your Facebook page.
Yes.
I think yes.
Yeah, we were excited, but then it kept going on. The categories kept passing with us not winning anything, which is not a big deal. We get it. But it's just our heart was so set on what it meant, for Danny and his family, and just everything we put into it. Everybody put into it, and we thought the categories had passed, and
We were down to one.
Carl, we sat together, and I thought it had passed, and we were going, it just wasn't good.
And it wasn't about us.
No, it had nothing to do with us.
Danny's kids were sitting
Yes.
right with us, and that's what it was about.
It was just so huge, and we sat there. Carl started kneeing me really hard. I don't know what his problem was, but he was saying, for Danny, and that category come up. He said, "This is it," and I'm like, "Is it?" And they said Heaven's Front Porch, Flatline. I mean, I don't know. That was shock, total shock. Because I know all of our hearts sank. My wife told me I sat there for, it seemed like 5 minutes before I got up. I don't know what I was doing. We throw our phones down like idiots.
Yeah.
I don't know why we did that. We walk up on the Opry stage.
Yeah. We're standing on the Grand Old Opry stage.
That's pretty amazing in itself. I mean, to be able to stand in the middle
Oh, it is
Opry
awesome.
stage, I know.
So we have tunnel vision walking up on the stage, don't know what's going on. We're freaking out. No phones. We don't know what's going on. And we get up there and we do our speech. And we got to say Danny's name on the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Did the kids get to go? Were they there, right?
They were right there up front.
Amy and the kids were there.
Yes. And a lot of friends and just a lot of support. Just great people.
The truck that we've had in both our videos that we've made the journey down there too.
Oh, really?
That's pretty cool.
Israel Rankin pulled it down there.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a surprise. We didn't expect that, and he brought it down. What a great guy.
Very great guy.
He did so much for Danny.
Yes, he did. But that was surreal to stand there.
Yeah.
We've all played. I played since 12 years old. Guys, you played.
I'm the same.
Yeah. We played since we were kids, and to be able to stand on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry was surreal. And Danny Clip made that happen. He's the whole reason why we were standing there.
Yep.
What a story. What a community story, really. And that has a ripple effect. All those types of, yes. Oh, please. I forgot to even tell you to hold that sucker up there. So that is the award.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Song of the year. Just really special. Thank you to the Josie Music Awards. Oh my. It's just so special. The song is special in itself. The video is special. And I know you've seen the video.
Yeah.
I don't know if it made you cry.
It's pretty rough.
Okay, it got me. All right. I was just going to say I cried. I still, every once in a while, watch it, and it does get me. The storyline is great. David did a great job. And
again, with the video, no money changed hands.
Right.
It was just nothing.
And that was very good. He's very talented. I mean,
Yes, he is.
he needs to be in a total different league than what he is.
Yes.
He could definitely go somewhere doing that.
Well, taking something that is tragic and sad and then having it be able to grow into something that is really remarkable. I mean, I said, I don't know if I've talked to any. I mean, you guys are kind of like famous to me, So, and we kind of watch through Facebook, when you make, you're going to this show or doing that show where you have something special, and we're waiting. What is it? What's it going to be? And it's almost like sharing a little bitty piece.
Yes.
And you kind of share that with the world, really. So where do you hope this all takes you? What do you want to?
Well, the ultimate to me would be for, I mean, we're not delusional enough to think we're going to be big famous stars. It would be awesome if it ever happens. That that ship probably sailed years ago for us.
Except for right here. Now you're pretty big deals around these
There's
parts.
something to be said about a big fish in a little pond, maybe. But if someone famous was to grab onto like Danny's song or any of these original songs, John's a writing machine. He's been writing some great songs, and we've been recording some, and got we put a second video out, one of the songs John wrote, and we're just working, just putting the work in, and hoping that somebody somewhere sees something, and that's all it takes, just the right person, or even the right person to share a video and it go viral, and boom, you're there. But
Right. So I saw on I think it was your webpage, I think, where this whole experience really has had you change from what you're known for as covers to your own authentic material.
Yes, it has definitely driven us to pursue that for sure. And I want to continue doing it. I'm having so much fun doing it. I mean,
And Danny pushed us to do that. He wanted originals, and he's kind of the driving force behind that.
for sure.
we still have to play the covers because covers, I guess, kind of pay the bills for us. So to be able to go and
Well, everybody, they don't pay the bills. I know they cost the bills usually.
Right.
when I say pay the bills, I guess I mean
For drumsticks and strings. Yeah.
Strings.
Yeah.
gas,
Yeah.
in our vehicle.
Gasoline, maybe. Yeah.
Music has always been. I've always been interested in music, and I can't play it. Not at all. Ask Tim Key, he'll tell you. Ask Chris, he'll tell you too. But one of the things that I know is true is that you can really connect with people through music. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family. I mean, there's lots of dysfunction there, but the one thing that there wasn't was around the importance of music. Now, not really taking lessons, learning it, but just there was music all around. And like, my dad, my first concert was when I was in 4th or 5th grade, and it was Tesla and Poison, and it was the Open Up and Say "Ah" concert. I've said this on my podcast before, but it should be said again, that we went all the way to Evansville on a school night to watch Poison, and Tesla opened for them. And that was probably 85-ish, 80, I don't know. Whatever, it was the Open Up and Say all, because how I know that is we bought concert t-shirts because everybody does, right? I did not pick the Open Up and Say all one because I knew, but my brother, who was 2 years younger than me, picked the Open Up and Say all shirt. And my parents let us wear that to school the next day.
Oh, wow.
So they first put the duct tape over the tongue of his shirt, and that didn't work because he just peeled it off. They made him turn it inside out. Well, that didn't work. He turned it right back. And finally, my mom was called and said, you got to, this kid's in trouble. Like, why'd you allow that? So that was the first, but I do remember country cruising with my parents. Like, everybody country cruised and listened to music. And I remember at that point, back in the day, it was cassette tapes that had the words to the songs folded up in them.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Whitesnake. I still know just about every word of Whitesnake because we drove for miles out in the country. Sometimes we ventured into Louisville. Sometimes, and you sit and you listen to music. Like, I don't know if people do that anymore, but so then, it was Rolling Stones and AC/DC and John Mellencamp and Def Leppard and all those artist. And it's pretty remarkable what music can really do for people and for community. And I remember I wanted a record player for I was a teenager or early teen, and I wanted Inagata Davida. Like, seriously? That's the song? That's the record you want? And Bill Withers, his Ain't No Sunshine.
That's a big contrast.
Isn't it? But like I said, so, and then of course, as I said, this podcast is we had with Tim Key on here, and we had Matt Hart as well, who's into music. And, all of my kids have been able to take lessons, and it's just important. So I want you to talk a little bit about your experience. Do you have experiences in that way? What has music done for you?
Well, we're all connected through Danny, through music. Like, I used to DJ with Danny in high school.
Yep.
And, Danny's always been about music, and he's always been, I think he was behind, 2 or 3 of our bands, as far as getting us together and being in the band, the sound guy. And
Top Down King, Fury, 50 Caliber, and Flatline, pole bands.
I mean, he would have done the sound for this if he wasn't in the shape that he was.
He started.
He would have done all about it. Yeah.
Danny bought his speakers from me at my music store I worked at years ago. So I think that's where I met him maybe first time officially.
Well, I remember when we were forming 50 Caliber, it was like, yeah, I think we're going to be able to work something out and get a band going here. And Danny's like, hey, I just bought a whole trailer full of brand new equipment.
So he was go big or go home, man.
Typical Danny style.
Yeah.
Do that.
Over the top.
He's like, we got the most awesome sound
Yeah,
system of anybody around now.
He did.
We didn't need it. We needed about half of it. We didn't even use it to its full extent. The shows that we played, that it looked cool.
I still have all the equipment of when me and Danny DJ'd. And I don't know why. I guess I just hang on to it because it was mine and his.
Well, I probably don't necessarily have that much of a connection necessarily, other than, Danny and Chris went to school together. Everybody knows everybody, especially in Orleans. And, but it's really a remarkable thing how one person can do so much for somebody else. And sometimes they don't even know it. You don't even realize it, but
We're just a little tip of the iceberg of the stuff that he did, though. And he was always doing something for someone, helping somebody out, giving somebody some money, even though he didn't have much money himself. He still.
I don't know where he found the time to do all the things that he did
Right.
socially.
Rush.
yeah. So I remember, it's just not long ago. I think it wasn't last 4-H. It was the 4-H before. Carl, remember you got some buddies together and bid on the 4-H animals. Remember that?
Yeah, that was, there was like an alliance of people that chipped in. And
Yeah.
that was, well, I know exactly when it was. That was on July the 12th of 2024, and he passed the very next day, just a little after midnight the next day. I remember vividly.
I was there and I witnessed that.
Yeah, I mean, several people knew the situation and wanted to try to do something for Braylon, Danny's daughter, that day.
And that's what community's about.
Yeah, there was a whole host of people on that did that.
Yeah.
It's just sad that we lose somebody that really connects a community like him. But we want to continue his legacy of being that positive person in the community. Whatever we can do to keep his name alive. That's what we're all about.
So it kind of seems like, though, he created 5 more.
I hope so. I'd like to think so.
Yeah. So what do you got coming up? Anything big, new?
We actually have the gala coming up on February 7th now.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Pretty close.
It is.
You played last year.
Yes.
Yeah, and was pretty blown away. Wasn't expecting the turnout that it had. I was in awe, and the money that was being raised for kids. It was mind blowing. They were throwing some money around down there.
I suspect that they'll throw a little bit of money around on February 7th again.
Right. So yeah, that's pretty cool to be a part of that. And I out of all I've heard is it's just going to be even bigger and better.
It was huge last year,
Yeah.
so I can imagine it being bigger. Well, that's awesome.
But it's neat to be asked to be a part of that again this year. We're hoping we play a little more. We didn't get to play too much because
You kinda
everything
got-
kind of
ran over, and then we kind of got shut down, right? Like the hotel was kind of like, you're done.
Yeah, they kind of run you out.
Yeah, so we're hoping we get to play a little longer on the 7th. And well, we got a gig on April 11th.
April 11th at Rusty Anchor over by Monroe Lake.
Okay.
Playing from 9 to 1. It's really good people, good place, and just good place to play. Playing there, and in August, we have some private events that we're doing. Playing for Persimmon Festival, September 23rd.
Now you've played Persimmon Festival.
Yes.
Last fall we did. That was our first time.
Yep. It's a fun time.
Yeah, Persimmon Festival brings in quite a few people.
That's very fun.
We do have several private events that we can't really put out. We do a lot at the resort. We played events down at Belterra. We've been to Fort Wayne a few times, played there. So we get around a little bit, but sometimes we are hired to do a lot of conferences from different associations through the state of Indiana. So they're fun. It's just something that's not really open to the public, so we don't talk about it a lot. We are out there playing. We just, sometimes it's not public events that we're
They
playing
pay
at.
better too.
Guaranteed.
Say, don't I understand? Yeah, yes, but you kind of, when you love your community, you got to do some things for your community that it don't necessarily pay the bills, but it is, it makes you feel good, and that's sometimes worth it if you got other ways to pay the bills.
We're also working on another event. We had just talked about it tonight. I'm not sure if that's going to pan out or not, but it's a cancer event. So we'll just see how that pans out.
Go ahead and tell us, how can everybody find you? Like, what are the streaming? What are the socials?
Okay, so Flatline Live Music, that's the best way to find us, through YouTube, our webpage, Facebook, Spotify. Well, Flatline, just Spotify, but that's the best way to find us.
I know 3 of the 5 of you. So Wilbur and Sean, I'm sorry, but now I do know, and I can tell some story. But I want to talk about how I know you guys. So Carl, you laid the foundation to my house.
Right.
So several years ago.
That's what I was going to say. Is it okay?
It's actually great. But you've known, the Terrells forever. And then fast forward, we sit at those commissioner meetings together, right? A lot. And we basically do what we're told to do. And that's how that works. Right. And I do, and I remember, Melissa, your wife, and she was really big in the the dogwood. All my kids went through all of that stuff.
Wilderness pageant.
Yes. And so that kind of grassroots connection is there. And John, I'm going to tell the story that we told earlier.
Okay, feel free.
So I was talking with Chris, my husband, about, tonight, and I said, I wonder, I know this was John. And I said, I wonder if he remembers. So your girl was in my 4-H club, which was a long time ago because I've not been a 4-H leader for years and years. And she, of course, you would bring her to the meetings, but Fair Week, you kicked her out and a sheep, I think it was a sheep, from your front seat of your truck
That's right.
at fair. And I have not forgotten that.
Yeah, that's pretty redneckish, but that's small town.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mike, your building is behind one of our properties. And I had a private practice there. So when I left community mental health and opened my own private practice, it was there. Now it's an apartment or 2 apartments. But do you remember me coming over and inviting you to the open house and sending the flyers over there and what we were doing back there? Because I think the town made me have to ask everybody.
So you had to ask me to come.
Yeah, I did. I think so. I think I had to notify everybody because it was, we had to petition that be commercial because it wasn't, but I was behind your commercial building.
I remember you inviting me, and I was wondering what kind of snacks you had. So I thought, well, I'll walk down there and check it out. And you did. You had some good snacks there.
Hey, go big or go home, right?
They were good. But yes.
Yeah. And that would have been in, I think,
Oh,
17.
was it?
I think it was 17.
Okay.
It was cold. I think it was like or January 17, or maybe it was January 18, and sometime around in there. But
You were there.
it wasn't 18. It was 16.
You were there a couple years.
Was there about two or so years, and then we turned it back into a rental property.
Right.
And I went to the school to work,
Okay.
and then did tele in my private practice.
Okay. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. I know I was telling Chris I got stuff to talk about because I know most of these, folks. But again, I think that's why we do what we do, right? I mean, it's those connections with people. It's the love and the care for people.
So on what do you want to?
How did you get started? What'd you do?
Well, I don't know. I had an inkling of playing drums when I was 11 years old, and my mom and dad bought me a drum set, and I drove them crazy the rest of their life. I mean, that's pretty much what happened. I had a band when I was 13. Me and Paul Gillespie, Bill Aldridge, Steve Wade, guys I knew a long time ago. And our band name was Furry, I think back then.
Fury, I think is on.
Fury.
Mm-hmm.
But it just escalated from there. I played a lot with Shane King, Brian Godsey, people like that, people that were just, they're kind of all over the place. Got with these guys in there, me and Mike, we started playing back in 99, I think.
A lot of garage playing.
Yeah. With Pat Murphy. It was great. It was great just growing up around music. It just makes us happy. That's my getaway. And I think it's a getaway for all of us.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely. So, and it just, it's all culminated to this. I mean, this is the ultimate here. I wouldn't want to play with anybody else, really.
Well, my story is I wanted to play guitar. I wanted to play guitar, driving mom and dad crazy. I also wanted to play football, kind of built like a football player my whole life. Well, I got the choice at 12 years old. I could go out for football or I could have guitar lessons, one or the other, with them hoping I would take guitar lessons because we lived all the way down on the Crawford County, Orange County line, long way to town. Would have been pretty hard for, I was the oldest out of 4, so it would have been hard for mom to run me back and forth that far. But I'm glad that I didn't pass up the chance for guitar lessons. I took about 9 months of guitar lessons, started in bluegrass music, learned the guitar, the banjo, the mandolin, the bass, and by the time I was 14 years old, I was playing with a band called the Evening Light Gospel Singers. I played from the time I was 14 till the time I was 18. Played in every little church in a big tri-county area here. And just learning. When I was 19, I joined a bluegrass band out of Louisville, Kentucky, called the Kentucky Ramblers, and we traveled on a bus all over the United States playing festivals. So yeah, I lived out on the road in a bus for a while, playing acoustic stand-up bass. So that was different, and that was not fun to pack around everywhere. Then I realized that wasn't going to cut it and wasn't going to pay the bills. So come back home, got a haircut, got a real job.
You didn't get a haircut.
No, I didn't get a haircut yet.
That comes later.
Yeah. So switched over to country. Played with a group called the Honky Tonk Homebodies out of French Lick, and played with them for a while. Played with another country band called Mr. Cowboy. Played in the house band, Ralph Eads band.
Woo!
Had a band called Renegade that put Wilbur in at 18 years old.
I thought it was 14.
He looked like he was 14. So, yeah, he's seen a lot of things that an 18-year-old probably shouldn't have seen back in the day. So, yeah, did that and then got hooked up with these guys, Top Down King. And that's 3 in that one. That's where I met him through Danny, and then we had Fury. Sean was in that, and there were some other things back and forth, different bands. And I had a band I was in called Full Throttle, and then we had 50 Caliber. And that was us 4, 50 Caliber.
We're all just kind of intermingling.
Yeah.
Both of years, just
And then we got Flatline.
Why Flatline? Like how the name?
Well, because we're a bunch of old guys, and
Wait, to have
I figured it could happen at any second. So that's kind of where it came from.
That's amazing.
Let's see.
It was a better choice of all the other ones, believe me.
That's pretty neat.
Really where it came from.
But these guys are my brothers.
That's right.
I love them, and I wouldn't want to play with anyone else either. That's the way I feel about it. Same as Sean.
Well, I've always enjoyed singing. I'm not talented enough to actually play an instrument, but I'd done some DJing and stuff with Danny when we were in school, and it kind of just grew from there. And he's like, "Hey, I got these guys I'm friends with," and Danny just connected so many of us. Danny had so many friends, and he said, "Just come see what happens with it." And I'm so glad that happened. That he did connect me with all the people that he connected me with, because I'm not really a people person, but and Danny's just the opposite. But we kind of connected through music, and yeah, it was just all
He's
been
good at
together
spotting-
since,
He's good at spotting talent. You know,
for the most part.
I knew you were good. If it missed,
You're side-eyeing over there. I saw that. It's on camera.
I was looking toward Mike. Uh-oh. It's your turn.
All right. What about you?
I was older when I started playing. I was at Purdue, and I lived in a dorm, and there was a guy that lived across the hall from me that played electric guitar. And I'd hear him, and sometimes I'd knock on his door and go in, and he'd show me some stuff. But he played a lot of Whitesnake. Loved
There you
Whitesnake.
go.
He loved Dokken and Tesla and Poison and just all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's probably where I got an interest in it.
How old were you when you first started?
57.
40.
When I first started playing, I was probably close to 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So when you started with Top Down Cane,
Mm-hmm.
this is where I met you.
Right.
You were 30 years old.
I
And
was
you had been playing for how long?
not long. I knew a few chords. Danny's the one that pulled me into that. He's
Huh.
So I decided I started buying books back in the day. There was no YouTube. There was no
Just so lucky.
nothing that you could go, and so you buy books, you listen to CDs, you read tabs and try to figure it out. And I took a couple lessons over the years, but just mostly just determination that I was going to figure this thing out. And I just kept plugging away at it. And then Danny comes along, and I can't remember, I don't know if he was a patient for sure, but he said, "Hey, you play guitar?" I said, "Well, I'm getting there." He said, "You want to be in a band?" Huh?
You probably talked to you for like 5 minutes and already had to figure it out.
Yeah.
He already knew what you were going to do.
I think they were looking for a guitar, I think. And so we were talking about it. He's like, "Would you want to be in a band?" I was like, "I don't know if I'm good enough to be there in a band." Yeah, come on down.
Yeah, you should see the other
You-
guys. You're good enough. Trust me.
So he's the one that got me going, got me started, and that was Top Down Cane. And we had Dickie Tinkle, who's a beast of a guitar, and he carried 99% of it. I had a few little parts here and there, but it made me catch the fever of playing and just really enjoying that. And so I, eventually started, YouTube and other things where, you can accelerate a little bit faster. But Danny was always in the bands that we were in, and he was always like, we'd have a speaker go out, and next time we got together, we got a new speaker. There was always, and he was always bigger and better. It always had to be louder, bigger, better equipment. He wanted us to have the best stuff that we could have, equipment wise. So, Danny's definitely has woven us together, even without knowing he was doing it. And what you asked about music a little bit ago is, when I hear songs, and you could say almost any artist, but I think like Bryan Adams, that takes me back to sitting on a lawnmower when I was 15 years old and mowing in our backyard. It takes me right there. If you say, Poison, that's my brother's car, 8-track type stuff, AC/DC, REO Speedwagon, I can almost tell you a band that I like, where I was. And what I want from this is, in 20 years, 25 years, people hear Heaven's Front Porch and they think of Danny. I want them to go there. And so music means that to me, and it takes you right back. Bruce Springsteen, Mellencamp, I can tell you pretty much where I was when certain songs came out. And so I just love music. I love playing with these guys and wouldn't want to play with anybody else.
Timeless.
So what about you, Wilmer? Tell me.
I was a high school band nerd, and I loved it. Another thing is kind of neat. These guys could probably relate. Whenever you are playing an instrument like drums or whatever it is, like I loved practicing. I didn't have to be told to practice. I just ate it up. I mean, just hours and hours and hours. And I was like you beating on the drums and driving the neighbors crazy. And I actually had a bass guitar and a guitar, and I enjoyed, and I got a hell of a piano, and I had keys, which is really kind of a neat story. I don't know if you ever heard this, but I had the keys to the school because I was so like locked in on the instruments, and the director knew that I could be trusted and that I was just wanting to learn everything, just soaking it all up. So they actually got keys of the school band room to go practice anytime I wanted to. So I had the drum set in there. Like my last couple of years, I had the drum set, had the pianos, and everything at my disposal. I was just like soaking it up. And
I will say you are the first drummer around anywhere. And I went to all the basketball games. He was the first one to take a full kit to play in the pep band. He had a full kit, and everybody's like, "What?" And he was just out there just thrashing those drums. I mean, he got everybody's attention.
I remember playing a game when Bobby Knight came in the game, and he got set 2 or 3 things behind me, and I was like, oh no, because I'm like really loud. So I was like, so I went up there, and I was like, I don't want to make him drive him away or anything. So I kind of toned it down, and then he kind of was a little hat nod, to the play, and I was like, yes. So felt like a double. But no, it is then we just over the years, as I was talking about earlier, we all ended up playing some sort of fashion together. And it was really neat. There's all my brothers, I love them to pieces, and it's been really great to play with them recently. So
Well, I think that that's probably a really good note to end on. I think we've really answered, why is music and community so important? And I think we've answered that tonight. So we're going to end with that. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. And I get to say, when you guys make it big, Flatline was on my podcast. So thank you very much. I'm so excited about it, and I wish you all the luck because you deserve it.
Thank you very much.
It's the